What's up, guys? Classy Metal here. Today I have a haul from Hell's Headbangers Records. I did the 10 CDs for $50. Notice there are two asterisks in the title to the video. It is 10 CDs for $50. I know some of you, when you do these orders, you refuse to read, you don't know how to read, then you come back and complain. So I'm just gonna, it's actually listed on the site as well, so you can read it there. They will probably explain it a little bit better than what I do, but there are some special editions. There are some 2-disc versions that are priced a little bit higher. From what I noticed, if what you put in your cart was $10 or less, it drops it down to $5 a CD, so you get 10 CDs for $50. The ones that are over 10, say it's priced at $12, that one's going to drop down to $7. So just be aware of that. If you put 10 CDs in your cart and it's above 50, that's because you have some brand new releases, some special editions, that type stuff in your cart. So just keep a lookout for that. I don't want to be a misanthrope and send you in the wrong direction, and then you get mad at me because the price was higher than what you thought it was going to be. The majority of these that I'm going to show were in that $10 range. I did pick up a few that were either newer releases or priced a little bit higher. But pretty much what the sale does is it just takes $5 off of 10 CDs that you pick that are in that section. I'm going to link that up in the description. I'm also going to try to find something for each of these albums and releases that I show. That way, if you see something that piques your interest, you don't want to spend $50 and go buy 10. You can pick up the one, check out, and possibly pick up the one album that you see that you like. The first few that I'm going to show are all from the same project. This is a band that it's nearly impossible to keep up with the releases that they're putting out. It's almost like that Devin Townsend project syndrome, where you just releasing so much material that it just becomes overwhelming. I had I believe their debut EP, Luminous Eyes, and that was as far as I got in their discography. I believe they released 3 full lengths last year, which is ridiculous. On top of being involved, a lot of the members are also in a band called Beastmaker and some other stuff going on, so I don't know how they have all this time on their hands. But first up, we have Haunt with Mosaic Vision. This is an EP that came out, I'm not sure, it's showing 2019. I'm not 100% sure on that. It doesn't surprise me. I think it got a reissue through Shadow Kingdom in 2019, but I'm not. I mean, if it came out in 2019, that wouldn't surprise me either, just from the sheer amount of material that this band has released. I believe Luminous Eyes came out in 2017, so I would say that this probably was released in 2018 to begin with, but I could be wrong on that. A pretty good little EP. Nothing just too much different than what was going on Luminous Eyes. I think I like Luminous Eyes a little bit better than this one, but this is still pretty good. Next up, we have a full length. This one is entitled Burst into Flame. I believe this one came out about the time that they were featured in Metalhead Box, which has been, a couple years ago now. I think the Haunt shirt that we received in Metalhead Box was similar to this artwork. I could be wrong on that. That shirt is in the closet somewhere. Have not worn that one in a while, so I'll have to dig it out. But that artwork looks super familiar as far as that shirt goes. I have not listened to this one yet. I listened to it in the past, but I have not listened to it since I've got this stack in, so I don't remember just a whole lot about that one. Next up, we have If Icarus Could Fly by Haunt, obviously. I figured I would get these 4 out of the way first. That way, if you're not particularly into this band, they wouldn't be mixed in throughout the entire video. And then lastly from Haunt, I picked up Mind Freeze. This one's pretty good. I think this actually came out last year. Showing 2019, so I could be wrong. I thought it was released last year, but I know they had 3 full lengths in 2020, which is I don't get it. The fact that they can put out quality material, releasing that much material, it is crazy to me. Personally, I think they could dial it back a little bit. and release one really strong album as opposed to several good albums. But what do I know? I'm just a CD junkie, so I guess if they keep the CDs coming and the albums coming, I'll be happy regardless. Next up, we have some killer death thrash, deathy style thrash. This is a band that you all know. This release came out, I believe, in 2018. I think they also had a release come out last year as well. This is Deceased with Ghostly White. I have not given this one a full listen. I had it on a little bit yesterday while I was doing some other things. It sounded very good from what I heard. Had that classic Deceased sound going on this. Nothing disappointing so far that I've heard, so that's always a good thing. Pretty stoked to add this one into the collection. I will probably be spending a little bit more time with this today as the day goes on. So next up, this one was fantastic. I enjoyed their previous album. I believe it was entitled "Death is Proof of Satan's Power." This is Vaultwraith with "Light the Candle in Honor of Devils." I love their debut full length, and this one felt like a step up from that. This is pretty stellar stuff. It's got that blackened vibe, almost like that blackened heavy metal vibe going on that's becoming quite popular these days, and this album fits perfectly into that. It is a stellar release. I was surprised with how much I did enjoy this. I knew what I was getting into with this project, but this was exceeded expectations. So there we go, Vaultwraith with Light the Candle in Honor of Devils. Next up, we can have a little band drama. We have Evangelist with Nightmarecatcher. This is the disputed Evangelist. The original rendition is split up, but according to the member in charge of this project, it's still going, and I think he had some allegations against him and did his own thing, moved to Finland, and got his own stuff going. This is pretty good, black and death metal. I like the earlier Evangelist stuff as well, and I saw that this was on that sale, so I wanted to go ahead and grab it. He's put out under this new I say new, but he says it's all the original. You can look up the drama for yourself if you'd like to. I think this is like the third full length that he's released under the new rendition of Evangelist. This is unfortunately the only one that I own from that new, but I would like to pick up some more of that material. Next up, this one I was really surprised to see on there. We have some Death Doom out of Detroit. This is the newest release from Temple of Void with The World That Was. I listened to this one over and over when I first got this in. At the time, this was the one that I was most excited to get in this little box, in this little haul. Quite good stuff. I believe this is one that's priced, if they still have it in stock, I believe it's one that's priced a little bit more. It may have been in that 12 range, which would drop it to about $7 instead of $5. Still well worth the price of admission on this. This is a stellar release. If you're from Detroit, you can probably relate with that doomy side of things, the doom and gloom, obviously. So good stuff there from Temple of Void. Next up is the one that is probably my favorite out of this whole stack. I love absolutely everything about this album, from the Brad Moore artwork to the actual music itself. This is Pale Divine with their self-titled. I've been looking for this album for quite some time. Every time that I saw it for sale, it was super expensive. Either the shipping was super expensive because I'd have to order it international, or they had the album itself priced at a ridiculous price point. I did a double take when I saw that it was on this 10 for $50, and I mean, no questions asked, it went immediately into the cart. I believe by the time I got to the P's, like scrolling down the albums, I had to take something out to throw this one in there, and no regrets at all, because this is a stellar Doom release. Phenomenal. One thing that I love about this album in particular from Pale Divine is you have some Doom tracks that go on and on and on and on and overstay their welcome, become monotonous. That doesn't happen on this release. I believe that there's 2 tracks that clock in right around 8 minutes or so. One of them being the track Solo, which is probably my favorite track on this entire release. But let me get back to my point. The other tracks all clock in somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes, which is just kind of standard song length for a lot of other genres of metal, but it works quite well with what Pale Divine's putting out with this doom metal sound. Nothing overstays its welcome. It leaves you wanting more. Stellar release from Pale Divine. Like I said, that Brad Moore artwork, I actually have a signed print of this hanging on my wall. I love everything about that release. And then last but not least, we have Mongrel's Cross with a Psalter of the Royal Dragon Court. This one was a blind buy. I've heard Mongrel's Cross. I own one of their other releases. I did dig that one a little bit. I mean, it's kind of that almost like black and thrash type stuff going on that. And this one was much better than I was anticipating. I believe it is a step up from the other that I own. That one just didn't feel super memorable to me, but I recognized the name on this. I was like, well, I'll give them a shot. I gave a little sample listen. I was like, that sounds pretty good. I'll go ahead and add it to the collection. And once I got this in and listened to it, I was floored by how good this release was. Another good surprise in this one. I think I scored a home run, especially on the ones that I picked that I wasn't just super familiar with, this being one of those. The Vaultwraith, that was another one that I was just floored. Pale Divine, I mean, that CD and the Temple of Void, I mean, it was well worth the price that I paid for this. Going to link up Hell's Headbangers in the description with the link straight to the sale. And then I will try to list every single album that I showed in the order that I showed it. If I can find a Bandcamp, a stream, something, so you can check it out yourself, I will definitely do that. That's all I've got for today. My work schedule is about to get crazy. I just started this new job, and they completely flipped the script on me within the first month. Changed my job, what I was actually doing, changed my hours, working 6 days, 10 hours a day, and I'm just not going to have time for a whole lot of stuff. I have some other stuff outside of here going on that may make life a little bit easier in the near future, but we'll talk about that later. That's all I've got for today. Stay classy, stay metal. I will see you all as soon as possible, I promise.